all, welcome to Gallant IAS. This is Prakriti from Gallant IAS, where we'll be seeing the comprehensive coverage of environment and ecology syllabus of UPSC. So, today we'll be dealing with energy flow in an ecosystem. But before getting into the topic, let us have a recap on the basic concepts of ecosystem. So, what is an ecosystem? An ecosystem is simply the biotic community and the physical environment in which they live. We know that there are different types of organisms in a community. And besides interacting among themselves, they are also continuously interacting with the physical environment in which they live. And this structural and functional relationship between themselves as well as the abiotic environment or the physical environment in which they occupy the space is known as the ecological system, or simply we can say it as ecosystem. So what is an ecosystem? Ecosystem is the biotic community plus the physical environment in which they live. So this is what constitutes the ecosystem. Now, when we look on to the different functions of ecosystem, we can see that the functions of ecosystem have been broadly classified under three heads. That is energy flow, the biogeochemical cycles, and the ecological development, or in technical term we can say it is ecological succession. So today we are going to deal with the first head, that is energy flow in an ecosystem, which is an important function of ecosystem. And under energy flow we will be seeing food chains, food web, and the ecological pyramids. So these are the things that we are going to deal in today's class. So what is energy flow? Energy flow is simply, as the term suggests, energy flow is simply the flow of energy in ecosystem. So how the energy is flowing in an ecosystem? We know that sun is the major source of energy for all the living beings. And suppose the producers or the autotrophs who can prepare their own food, they are taking, suppose 1000 units of energy have been stored as food by the producers through the process of photosynthesis. And this, a part of this energy is being transformed to the next level of organism, which are the herbivores or the primary consumers, then to the carnivores or the secondary consumers, and so on. So this is how the energy is flowing in an ecosystem from one trophic level to the other. Trophic level is the position that is being held by these organisms. We'll deal with trophic level in the coming session. So here we can see that the energy is flowing in a linear manner, or we can say it is unidirectional in nature. Energy flow in an ecosystem is unidirectional in nature, or it is linear. It is not bidirectional. It is only flowing through one particular direction. That is from the lower level of organism, that is the autotrophs, to the higher level, which is the consumers. Okay, so here you can note one point, that is the 10% law on transfer of energy, which is being proposed by Lindemann. And according to the 10% law on transfer of energy, what it says that from the producers, suppose producers are having 1000 units of energy stored from the source, which is the sun. When it transfers this energy to the next level, that is the primary consumer, what happens is that only 10% of this particular energy is being transferred. The rest of the energy which is not used is being lost as heat. only 10% of this 1000 is being transformed to the consumers. That is, only 100 units is being received or is being utilized by the primary consumers. And when it goes to the secondary consumer, what happens? Again, the 10% of this 100 is only reaching the third trophic level, which means only 10 units is being reached. Likewise, the energy is being decreasing as the trophic level progresses. So this is what the 10% law of transfer of energy is saying. So just have these things in mind. And also, to deal with the energy flow, to study about energy flow, what we are relying is upon a concept called the trophic level interaction. Okay, so we studied about energy flow, how it takes place, and in order to study this energy flow, we are relying on a concept which is known as trophic level interaction. So what is this trophic level interaction? The organisms which are depending upon each other for their food habits. That is, there is an interconnection between the organisms in ecosystem based upon their feeding mechanisms. So this is what the trophic level interaction is all about. And based on this trophic level interaction, three concepts have to be dealt with. That is the food chain, the food web, and the ecological pyramids. So these are the things which are broadly dealt under energy flow, that is the trophic level interaction. So in food chain, so what is food chain? Simply, as the term suggests, it is a chain, which means that it is a sequence or an order which shows who eats whom. That is the eating habit or the feeding mechanism of organisms is being represented as a chain or as an order, which is known as food chain. It shows the order by which organisms eat and are being eaten. That is what food chain is all about. And the individual levels of food chain, that means producers, primary consumers, the secondary consumers, the tertiary consumers. This is how a food chain goes. This is the order. This is showing the order how an organism is eating the other one, and also how it is being eaten by the other one. Right. So in this particular concept, what is important is that you have to take care of trophic levels concerned. That is, each step or each position held by the organism is what is known as trophic level. The position held by organisms in a food chain. This each step is called trophic level. This is the first trophic level, this is the second trophic level, third, fourth, and so on. So that is regarding trophic levels. Now, when we study about food chain, we are studying it under two classifications. That is, the first one is the grazing food chain, and the second one is the detritus food chain. Okay, so what is grazing food chain? In grazing food chain, what happens is that the first level or the first trophic level is being occupied by the producers or the autotrophs. So that is what is grazing food chain is all about. The first level is being occupied by the producers. For example, take the case of terrestrial ecosystem. Their grass are green plants, or they are autotrophs, or they are producers. They are being eaten by grasshoppers, frog, snake, owl. Likewise, the food chain goes. So grazing food chain is where the first level of food chain or the first trophic level is being occupied by the producers. Next example is in the case of aquatic ecosystem. In aquatic ecosystem, who are the producers? They are the tiny phytoplanktons. So it is being eaten by the zooplanktons, then small fish, then pelican likewise. So in this aquatic ecosystem also the first level or the first trophic level is being occupied by the producers, which are the phytoplanktons. So that is all about grazing food chain. Simply the first level is being occupied by the producers. Okay, and this grazing food chain forms the main conduit of energy in the aquatic ecosystem. Just keep it in mind. Next, when we come to the detritus food chain. In detritus food chain, the first level, the first trophic level or the source of energy is from the dead and decaying matter. In detritus food chain, the first trophic level is the dead and decaying organic matter of plants and animals. So it starts with dead organic matter and ends up with inorganic compounds. So that is all about detritus food chain. For example, the leaf litter, it is being eaten by earthworms, frogs, snake, hawk, etc. So this shows the detritus food chain, which starts with dead decaying matter. So what are detritivores? They are organisms which feed upon this dead and decaying organic matter. They are known as detritivores or saprotrophs. Okay. And detritus food chain forms the main conduit of energy in the terrestrial ecosystem. So keep it in mind. So what is the main difference between grazing food chain and detritus food chain? It is mainly the source of energy for the primary consumers. In grazing food chain, the source of energy for the primary consumer is what? It is the producer. Whereas when we come to detritus food chain, the source of energy for primary consumers is what? It is the dead and decaying organic matter. So that's the basic difference that you should keep in mind. Okay, so that's regarding food chain. So regarding food chain, it's a sequence or an order which shows who eats whom, and it is being divided into two types: the grazing food chain, detritus food chain, and all those distinctions you have to keep in mind. The second concept under the trophic level interaction is the food web. Now, as we dealt with the food chain, when one or more food chains are interlinked, they forms a network, and this network is what is known as a food web. That is, the one or more trophic levels of a single food chain can also be linked with the other trophic levels of other food chain, so that a network is formed, and this network is what is known as food web. As you can see, the trophic level of one food chain is being associated with the trophic level of other food chain and so on, so that it forms a network which forms the food web. Okay, now what is the importance of food web? Why are food web important? It is mainly important for the stability of the ecosystem. For example, let's take the case of growth of grass or the growth of herbs. We know that it is being controlled by the herbivores. Suppose a type of herbivores become extinct. What happens is that another kind of herbivores comes into picture and it takes control over the vegetation. And also the carnivores, which may be feeding upon the herbivores which were extinct, now shifts their predating mechanism to the other herbivores, so that a total disruption will take place in the ecosystem. That is, its stability is being lost. So that is why food web is very important. The interlinking is very important in an ecosystem. So another thing is that there are different types of organisms which play a very important role in ecosystem, such that if they are eliminated or somehow if they are becoming extinct, the stability of ecosystem is very badly affected. So such type of species are known as keystone species. Say example, tiger is a such species. So that's regarding keystone species. They are very vital for the stability of the ecosystem. If they are eliminated, it causes very damage to the ecosystem. Such species which play important role in the ecosystem is known as keystone species.